This is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Midoriya has just had his identity revealed to the Justice League. Along with that, well, Bakugo knows he's alive, and he's not really too sure how to feel on it. Now, let us pick up where we left off. Midoriya and Jiro were in the gaming room before they eventually passed out or fell asleep, depending on which word you want to use. Now, they would get up and at least walk around the watchtower, looking at I want to say info terminal, but that might not be a good thing. I think that's from a game. They'd find something that has information, or at least ask questions about where they can go get something to eat. Eventually heading to the mess hall and seeing quite a lot of heroes. Yikes, that's a lot. Now, eventually after that does happen, Midori and Joe sitting down and eating breakfast with the other members of the Young Justice Squad, or the Young Justice. Now, while that is happening, Midoriya, he would have been interrupted, and actually find something odd, as he would turn around to see who interrupted him. John Stewart. The man saying that he would like to go out on a bit of patrol with him. Would that be fine? Midoriya just nodding and not saying a single word. The two getting up, and Midoriya telling Jiro that he'll see her later. Her just waving him off, as the two would leave. As they get off the watchtower and begin to fly out in space, John would just state that he understands what he's been going through recently. He doesn't understand all of it, but, it's quite the events. Him just saying that he understands what it's like to be under Umbrax's control. Midoriya confused, as he would just say that whenever Umbrax was first found, he was made into the first official core member of his Lantern Corps. Midoriya asking what does he mean? Him just saying that before Sinestro died, he forced a power onto him. In fact, it was quite weird. It was like you were trapped in your own mind. No, not even that. Is that what happened to you? Yes. Midoriya is saying with a shaking voice, as John would just say that it was like he wasn't even there. Everything that happened to him and everything he felt, he was just pushed out. And after they broke his control over him, he came back. Midoriya is just looking down at his hand, and seeing that he doesn't have a power ring, as that would be the next question he asked. John's is saying that he doesn't need one anymore. His body is his lantern, and his willpower is what he uses. He doesn't need the ring. Midoriya at least think that means that he's just like him with Umbrax's power. Interesting. The two talking a bit more before they eventually do come back. And things are beginning to get a lot more complicated. Now, let's cut back to, let's say at least 2 to 3 hours back in time. As soon as Midoriya and John left the station, Batman is walking over to the teleporters, and he is talking with Superman and Diana, telling them that he has an idea. The kid, he is going to need this. And, well, being a Red Lantern might not really suit him very well. As him and Hal Jordan would be, well, he would meet up with Hal Jordan, and the two would head over to Japan. As they would begin to make their way across the city. Hal just asking Bruce if this is really a good idea. Him just saying that it is. Red Lanterns rely on rage, Jordan. So, the kid, with everything he's been through, he may be uncontrollable one day. So this is going to be like my failsafe for him. As the two begin to walk through this street, and then walk up the staircases. Jordan just saying that he's really not sure if this is a good idea yet. As he would just begin to knock on the door. As a woman would answer, with a cup of tea in her hand. As he was able to just drop it and back up. Someone just screaming Batman. She is very confused as to why he is even here. As he would just say, in Commodoria, yes, that is me. What's wrong? Did something happen? Yes, ma'am. Actually, it's a very sensitive matter. I do not believe we can discuss it here. We need you to come with us. Her just walking out with him. Everyone watching as this lady basically gets taken away by the Green Lantern and the Batman. Them heading back up into space. And over to the Watchtower. As they do try and at least tell her everything that has been going on. Telling her that within the recent months following her son's alleged death, there has been quite a lot of information revealed. Her just asking what he's talking about when he says alleged. Him just stating that her son is alive. Her getting very mad for a second, and beginning to shout at Batman that they took her son. Superman is stepping in and explaining that no, they did not. In fact, one of my enemies has taken him. Darkseid took your son before the initial explosion, explaining why we never found his body. Besides, this is good news, Miss Midoriya. Your baby boy is alive. I'm at least sorry that you've had to deal with this for so long. I cannot imagine what it's like to lose a child. Even I worry about my own son. He can fly, shoot laser beams, and might be as durable as I am, but I still do care. Now, she would just begin by bursting into tears, and starting to cry, asking when can she see him. As over with Jiro, her, Ida, and Bakugo are all at least talking, and trying to train with the other Young Justice members. Eventually, the Black Canary walking in. Jiro wanting to fangirl, but at least keeping it hidden. She remembers this hero. She was quite the popular one back in America. Now, that being said, they would just begin combat training. Diana, Black Canary, I believe her name was... I'm not even going to try that right now. Anyways, she would just try and get them to combat train. Along with the Lanterns. Them basically being told that they are going to be training out in space. And a bit further away from the Watchtower. Rage and greed are really the best emotions to clash, especially from what I've heard from you two. Now, with that being said, the two would fly out and begin to train. Ida at least trying to work on his own abilities. He's supposed to stay away from the battle since he can depower Jiro's ring. In doing so, might turn off her ability to breathe outside of the atmosphere. Now, that would mean she could suffocate out there. And the battle would begin. Eventually, Deku and Jon Stewart would get back. And Deku would be walking around. Since he's not covering his face anymore, he basically has all eyes on him at the watchtower. Anytime he does walk past someone, they do at least give him a stare and a bit of a side eye. The only ones who don't might be the ones wearing masks. Even then, he's not too sure. But he does know for a fact that Batman isn't doing that to him. Batman's the guy who's more, well, if he deems you to be a threat, he'll take care of you in his own ways. He's always been like that, hasn't he? Anyways, that's at least what Superman once said that's what Superman at least said once in an interview. Now, Midoriya, he would just continue to go through the watchtower, eventually running into Batman. Him just saying that they need to talk. A brief panic going across Midoriya's face, asking if he did anything wrong, bringing his hands up. Batman just saying, no. As a matter of fact, you've been you've been doing good. You talked to John, correct? Yeah, I did. Where is everyone? They are out currently combat training. Okay. Now, come with me. Batman turning around and walking into a room. Midoriya doing so, as his eyes begin to move across it. And they would meet with his mother. Him immediately just looking surprised, and seeing her. Her just basically tearing up more, and running over to him. Running into him and actually giving him a giant hug. Midoriya's body not even moving. Him basically just frozen, as his hands are just up. He's not really sure whether to try and hug her or push her away. And you can see the conflicts as his hands are just twitching. Along with his arms, he wants to go and hug his mom, but he's not too sure. And she would just pull away, saying that she's so sorry. She's so sorry. She should have talked with him. She should have tried anything she could. And Midoriya immediately noticing the difference. His mom looks a lot better. Her sentences are clearer. And as you just take a whiff of the air, she doesn't smell like alcohol. Mom? What happened to you? Are you... No, I'm not. Not anymore. I'm getting better. Mitsuki's been a really big help. And, well, I'm still having a bit of trouble with it. But I'm just keeping up on things. I've been going to AA meetings and avoiding some of the routes I used to take home. Midoriya at least paying attention to that. Her mannerisms have somewhat changed, along with the fact that she's trying to avoid eye contact with him, only making it whenever she's at least trying to talk. So, what Midoriya would just say, as he would just look at Batman and ask exactly when did she get here? We brought her in earlier today. We thought you'd like to see your mother. Thank you. Midoriya just avoiding eye contacts. And Batman at least thinking, how was at least somewhat right? This boy is clearly under some mental issues. He can at least see some peering through, along with the fact that, not looking at his mother, avoiding eye contacts, he has had all eyes on him, especially since a murderer was wearing his face. And from what he heard from John's conversation, the boy was bear witness. It was different from what John had experienced. So, as Batman just going saying, go join the others for combat training, and we will talk with your mom some more, trying to get you some room and board, along with at least trying to figure out how we're going to explain this to the world. Midoriya just nodding his head, and walking out of the room as fast as he can. As soon as he gets outside, people will just watch as he just drops to the ground. And his eyes do fill with a bit of tears. A lot of people walking past him, but at least stopping and looking at him. Some asking if he's alright. Now, as soon as they ask him if he's alright, Midoriya would just snap out of it. As he would just look up, seeing a pair of heroes. Him just getting back up, and someone just shaking his head no. Them just telling him that that's fine. Listen, a little bit of advice. One of the heroes just saying that a lot of things you've been through, people might not forgive, but you can at least try and make up for them. They understand that you were still under that thing's influence. But, well, what's the best way to say this without sounding like an asshole? They're still going to think that you were that murderer. He wore your face and he wore your smile. That cannot change. But you can at least try and make it mean something different. Try and at least make up for Umbrax's actions, even if they weren't your own. Midoriya just nodding, walking past them. As soon as he goes to walk past the next person, they would have immediately stopped, turn around and looking. As Raven would have at least paid attention to what happened. She felt something different from Midoriya. She felt rage and shame, along with something else. Something that's trying to stay hidden. That's weird. Now, after that happens, Midoriya would go over to the Diana, Black Canary, and try and join in, being told that he is going to spar with Superboy. In fact, you can use and create constructs to fight. However, whenever you do go back into that training room, you will not be permitted to fire blast. You will be only doing melee training. Midoriya just nodding, as she would just say that she's at least heard from Batman some of his combat prowess. It is quite impressive. She would ask to go around with him, but without the ring, she knows that he could die. In fact, you do know you can remedy that, right? Midoriya going to walk into the room, but at least stopping when he hears that. Turning around and asking what does she mean. Her just stating that you don't know, do you? Know what? Kid, you need to go talk to Hal about that later. It's more of his department, but, well, what is it? It's possible to stop being a Red Lantern. Hal was, so was Guy, and I believe, well, nearly everyone. Even Supergirl at one point. Midori at least understanding that, and nodding. That isn't really, well, that's new, but it's also really interesting. At the same time, how did he not know that was possible? He has a lot more questions now, as the two would begin to spar, and eventually, the day would be over, as they all do begin to try, at least hanging out, and having a bit of fun. Now, wherever that is happening, someone will try and pull Midori aside, and talking with him, as it is Raven. Her asking Midori a few questions, asking him about his power, and what it was like being under Umbrax's control. Him just explaining exactly how he felt, and what he had to experience. But he's just glad that that's all behind him, and that he can get on with his life. As Raven would just say that that's not really a good idea. You were still connected to him. Midori going to take a step forward as he would just freeze, and turn back around, asking exactly what does she mean. Her just saying that she knows what it's like to hide a powerful entity. But, well, you are just simply a conduit for it, aren't you? Conduit for what? Umbrax. He's still in your head somehow, isn't he? You can trust me. I will keep it a secret. But, well, I can keep it a secret from them. But I will need to tell someone else. Someone higher, like Hal Jordan. Fine. I've not really sure how to explain it. Midori is giving up on this fake facade. He still does want to at least stay here for a little while. This place has been good to him. It's been nice being here. Him just saying that Umbrax is inside of his head. That is a true fact. Whatever happened back on that planet forced him inside my head. He is in my place, and I am in his. He said once before that the merger failed. Now I can control his power. Midori bringing his hand up, it was beginning to glow with purple energy. Her taking a step back before Midori would just put his hand down, saying that, but he doesn't want to use it anymore. In fact, he just wants to try and be better. He's not going to use it unless he absolutely needs to. And even then, the way he feels when he uses it doesn't feel right. He has the power, yes, but it's disturbing to him. So he'll rather settle for something else. That's why I made myself a Red Lantern. Her just asking what he means made himself. Him explaining. Darkseid wanted a mission done for them. He said that he wanted me to collect all the rings and try and bring him the Life One. I'm not going to do that for him. I want to master all the rings, and at least try and become stronger. I was once deemed worthy of, well, the green ring, the one I've always wanted. After what happened, it shattered and broke. I'm not sure if I'll ever be worthy of it again, especially not after what happened. Now, with that being said, she would at least understand, explaining her situation with her father. Shitty dads really seems to be a very, very common scenario for superheroes. That or dead parents. Now, she would have gone to Hal Jordan and explained this. Hal being a bit more surprised and wanting to immediately talk with Midoriya and contain him. As she'd go on saying that he didn't even try and resist it. He gave up the facade immediately whenever she confronted him about it. He's being truthful, but he's also scared and paranoid. He said that he's able to control Umbrax because, apparently, he feels everything Midoriya feels. He feels human emotions, along with pain. Midoriya just saying that pain was the best way to keep him in check on Darkseid's planet. He doesn't like feeling it, since, well, it's a new sensation, an odd one. Now, with that being said, I do believe I can end the video off here, and I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. We'll catch you guys later.